TBISE, the best of sports entertainment. We're here live in Parliament, USA. TNS Media Group is a team and a family. Gervonta Tank Davis is back, or claiming to be coming back, versus an unknown opponent. But before I get to that, let's get to this whole thing about, his coach, Coach Calvin Ford, Coach Kenny, saying that he's going to train with the Benavidez family, no longer training with Coach Calvin and the Upton Jim family, all those guys there. For me, looking at this, I kind of feel like, it's a bad situation. The reason being is because they're family to me. They're family. Been around Coach Calvin Ford many a times. Been around Gervonta Tank Davis many a times, and them guys being together and being at the gym, being at the press conferences and seeing their interaction. For me, this is something that you hate to see happen. But when you have a fighter like Gervonta Tank Davis, at this point in his career, he knows what he should be doing and what he has to do in order to get himself to the next level. Maybe there's something there that's not clicking with him and Coach Calvin Ford and Coach Kenny and all the guys there at the Upton Gym. Maybe that's something going on. But for me, like I said, I hate to see this because this guy, Calvin Ford, loves Gervonta Tank Davis like a son. As you said, Tank said he has Coach Calvin's name tattooed on him. That's like his father. You seen Floyd Mayweather separate from his father for a while and go train with his uncle. We saw that before. But now you have this going on and something is going on. I don't know what it is. I don't know. All that I know is good from Coach Calvin. All I know is good from Coach Kenny. All I know from Tank is that he steps into the ring and he comes into handle his business. That he's focused on being great and making the most amount of money that he can make to provide for his family. He is top 1-2 boxers in the game. Whenever Gervonta Tank Davis decides to fight, whoever it may be, whenever he comes back, the fight is going to be the biggest fight in boxing. Canelo just lost. The cash cow right now in boxing, the biggest name in boxing right now is Gervonta Tank Davis. Hands down. Hands down. Even though he had a draw with Lamont Roach, he's been off for about over a year and a half or so. But let's keep it real. If Tank comes back and fight, Tank will be the biggest. It would be the biggest boxing event in boxing. If he fights this year, it'll be the biggest event this year. I know Javon, both entities sold out with Zayas, but ticket sales is not like a Tank fight. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. Now, you can say Jake Paul, and Jake Paul's got knocked out. Jake Paul does sell tickets. But on a consistent level, Jake Paul may not even be able to, we don't know if he's going to be able to come back and sell tickets like he did before he got knocked out. But now you got Tank, who hasn't been knocked out, who's been consistent in putting on these fights and consistent in putting people in them seats and selling out these arenas. He's coming back soon. Against who, we don't know, but he is the best or the biggest. I'll say that he is the biggest name in boxing. Now let's get back to this switching of the coaches. Benavidez, the Benavidez family, hell of a trainer. He's going to have, if Tank goes and trains with Benavidez, if he trains with Benavidez, Tank will throw a lot of punches. I know he does. I know his punch output is very, very low with Coach Calvin and Coach Kenny. They're more like throwing kill shots and all that. Yes, which is true. But if Tank goes in there and trains with the Benavidez family, Tank will throw a lot of punches, which can be bad for the opposition. Because we all know that Tank has what? Something that none of these guys got. You name them: Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, all these guys you name, from the 135 up to 147 pounds. Tank has something that none of them has. Tank has what? The equalizer, knockout power along with skills. You can't say that these guys have better skills than Tank. Or you can say, all right, got to be better at this, better at that. But Tank is right there as far as his skills. If you say that I'm saying if you, not me, but if you were making a claim to state that Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson have more skill than Tank in this area here or this area here, we can say, okay, we can say that it's not that big. It's not that big of a difference in that skill. So we say that that Shakur has better defense than Tank. Okay, but how much better defense does he have? Is it by far, or Tank is actually like if Shakur is a 10, Tank is an 8? You know, or if you say footwork by Devin Haney has more footwork and so forth and so on. Devin Haney can move around. If Devin Haney's at a 10 and Tank, if Tank was at an 8, not saying these are our numbers, but if Haney was at a 10 and Tank was at an 8, but where we're rating the power aspect, the power, Tank is at a 10 and these guys at 6s and 7s, man, you know, or 5s and 6s rather. Just look at it. We can say, oh, he's fighting nobody, but Tank has knocked out a lot of his opponents. I think almost 80% of his opponents went to sleep or more. I'll get the check that for sure. But the cash cow is going to be returning to boxing. Is going to be the biggest event. Who is going to fight? I don't know. Will it be Devin Haney? I don't know. Will it be Shakur? I don't know. Will it be Lamont Roach, part 2? Well, I think Lamont has a fight coming up, but I don't know. Maybe he can make a step aside. I don't know who he's going to fight. I just know that whenever he fights, it's going to be the biggest event in boxing. I'm just sad to see him leave Coach Calvin to go train with Benavidez. I'm sad to see it, but I'm kind of happy because Benavidez is his senior. He's a hell of a coach. He's a hell of a coach. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the transition. But for me, I hate to see it happen. Excuse me. So we'll see what happens in regards to this. You know, Benavidez, I'm assuming he's glad to have Tank over there. He's happy to have a fighter. He does have an elite fighter. David Benavidez is very elite. Now you bring Tank Davis into the fold, into the gym, with his star power and his ability to, put people in the seats and knock people out. Now you have two fighters who are creme de la creme, top 10, maybe even top 5. I know Tank is top 5 for sure. But Benavidez is up there, the Mexican monster, So we'll see what happens in regards to this. But I think that, for me, like I said, I hate to see Coach Calvin and Tank separate and go their separate ways. Saddening to see that. Saddening. So, but I got a lot of love for Coach Calvin. Got a lot of love for Coach Kenny. Got a lot of love for Upton Jim. Got a lot of love for Tank as well. So we'll see what happens in regards to this, man. But I think that going forward, we will see a lot of great things in boxing. TBISE, the best in sports entertainment.